Hi, scholars. Well, we've come to the end of another week of e-learning, and this week our topic was training in mental fitness or mental fitness training. To kind of summarize 4 basic techniques for mental fitness training that we often see, what I have done for you today is provided a series of 4 videos, 4 very short videos for you to watch that kind of outlines and tells you a little bit about each of the techniques. The first one is with regard to visualization, or basically seeing what it is that we want to achieve and then putting together a framework for how to achieve that. The second one is on identification of goals, or how do we go about setting goals, and what is the mastery of goal setting in terms of writing it down, putting together benchmarks, putting together, different points along the way so that we know that we are on the way toward that goal that we want to achieve until we finally emerge with the goal achieved that we had in mind. The third one is in regard to something we call affirmation. It's basically what we do when we talk to ourselves. One of the biggest things is what we see in people that are very successful is that they have this very, very profound way of self-affirmation or self-talk that it keeps them extremely positive. They stay away from the negative thoughts, the negative connotations, the negative self-talk that takes people down a road that they sometimes have trouble getting on with in terms of getting to a place in their life where they want to be. And then the final one is actually a little short video called A to Z on coping skills. It gives us a little bit of a framework for things to do when maybe life or, whatever it is, school, work, relationship gets a little bit tough. It gives us some skills to utilize as we cope with certain things that occur in our life. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. I talked about really the 3 R's that there are for mental fitness training. The first one I would outline is what we call development of a routine. Everything that we do in life, if we want to be successful, what we typically see is there's a routine by which we go about doing that. And often what we see is those people that are most successful in their lives tend to be people who develop routines over time that they utilize through the course of whether it be work, school, whatever that is. So developing a routine actually gives us comfort, and it helps us to relax a little bit in certain situations. The second one is being able to understand that really our mind has 2 really different phases to it. It's really this dichotomous relationship between what we have as the rational mind and the emotional mind. The rational mind is that mind that tells us basically right from wrong. It tells us how to stay within that moment so that we are able to move past the moment and be positive in moving past the moment. The emotional mind is sometimes characterized by this wave of emotion that goes along with how we think, how we feel, and then how that's manifested outwardly. So in understanding, number 2, it is to understand when our emotional mind is in conflict with our rational mind. And sometimes we talk about the upstairs brain being the rational mind and the downstairs brain being the emotional mind, and just knowing how the 2 balance themselves out so that we can function successfully in our daily lives. And then the third piece, and I think this is maybe a little bit overstated, maybe over simplistic in some ways, and that is this, that in order for us to really engage ourselves in mental fitness training, we need to understand that the component that we really need to concentrate on, and sometimes is difficult for all of us, yours truly included, is just to relax. So in understanding the 3 R's of mental fitness training, the first one is routine, the second one is rational mind over emotional mind, and the third, and again, maybe oversimplified, but very, very profound, and that is to relax. I hope that you all have a great weekend. Remember that your quiz for the PE1 students, first block and second block, is due to me by 4 p.m. on Monday. You do not have any other assignment today other than to view these 4 videos along with this video presented by myself, so 5 videos total. And then what I'd like you to do is just make a comment about your thoughts or feelings about the videos and maybe some perspective you gain from it. So again, as we go through this time that is very, very challenging for all, I hope all of you are staying healthy. I hope all of you are continuing to do your best in terms of being great. Do your best in terms of school, around the house, with your family, whatever it might be. I know eventually that we will all be back together at some point, and I know in watching the leadership not only of our nation but of our state and city that we are well on our way to getting back to where we want to be as a country, as a world, as a society. So I wish you all the best. I miss you. I look forward to seeing you again in person when that day comes. But as always, through the weekend and starting next week on the 20th, be great.